Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 6 of season 3 of the F123 My Team career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and I'll be honest, feels a bit weird saying that. It's been nearly 2 weeks since I last actually sat down and recorded a video. Of course, you guys, you've been... I tried to get ahead as best as possible to give you guys as many videos whilst I was away. I've had a good fun time. Obviously, went to the Belgian Grand Prix and then also went on a holiday with a few friends. So, yeah, a massive thank you to all of you that have stuck around on the channel. We've got some big things to get through in August as well, so definitely excited to showcase quite a few projects that I've been working on behind the scenes. And as we head, now I sort of think in towards the end of 2023, we're kind of setting our sights on the future as well. But of course, if you missed out yesterday's video from this series, would highly recommend going back and checking it out. And as well, hopefully, later on today, I'm finally going to be able to kick off my F1 Manager career mode as well. So yeah, definitely want to get yourself subs for that as well. I'm really looking forward to obviously playing this and F1 Manager here on the channel as well. But I need to have a quick look at where we are championship-wise. Clearly R&D, more and more upgrades going on the car there has now brought us to second best behind Red Bull there and ahead of Ferrari and Mercedes. So maybe now we are well and truly in the fight, but... Constructors-wise and Drivers' Championship telling a bit of a different story. P9 so far in the Constructors. We've really not had the luck so far this season there. P13 for our teammate Alex Albon has left us 5th place overall in the Constructors. But yeah, with more and more big upgrades on the car though, as we head to Imola this weekend, I'm hoping we can try and turn it around. As well, quickly, I just want to say I'm planning on trying to add some more replay cameras and things like that to this series. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to get like 4 videos recorded a day. Hopefully, I'm going to have a bit more time, obviously, just to refine things a bit more. As well, I want to be returning to Twitch. I'm going to be going live, hopefully, tomorrow night over there with my return to WOR League Racing from the Belgian Grand Prix. I think 7 PM UK time, but I'll do a whole thing about that as well in due course. But anyway, very waffly intro done and dusted. Let's get into it. Emilia Romagna GP time. Well, immediately jumping in then to qualifying here from Imola, and I must admit, it feels nice to be back in the rig once again. Obviously, love taking a bit of time away, but always good to come back and get into some sim racing once again then. Imola, though, shouldn't, hopefully, be a track that is notorious for track limits. I feel like I've been able to get up to speed, obviously using practice rather effectively, and, with these new big upgrades as well, I'm hoping now Q1 should be a thing of the past. You'd hope so. With theoretically the second fastest car in Formula 1, but of course track limits are still a tricky thing, especially obviously on a qualifying run. So what I've done, I've gone out in Q1 on a set of mediums. It just then means if I mess up the lap, then I've got an extra set of softs that I can try to utilise. But yeah, if I get it nailed, then hopefully we can make it straight into Q2 with 3 sets of softs to use, 2 potentially for Q2 and Q3, as that was not great. Down through Aqua Minerale, and I've made the mistake of accidentally doing that final big brake upgrade on the chassis side of things. I know it always changes the way the brakes feel, either that or I just haven't quite got the muscle memory back yet, and that is P22 after the first run. Not what I had in mind. Right, well, it has certainly become a little bit high pressure then here at Imola as we round the final corner then to start my final lap. Yeah, like I said, obviously, feel like strict track limits. I've already picked up a new name here on YouTube of Penalties 212. So, yeah, that is, I'm sure, going to stick with me throughout the entirety of this game cycle. But Alex Albon, though, currently P2, just behind Max Verstappen after his first run. We need to find, a good at least a second here if we want to be banging on the door at Q2, but hopefully if we get a good lap hooked up, that should be doable. Making a bit of a mistake through Tosa. We gather it up nicely though on the exit. Don't lose out too much. I tell you what, we have not found as much time as I was hoping we would on this last-ditch run in Q1. It should still be enough to see me through and up into Q2 though as we round our way out of the final corner. Yeah, it is a second up, but still a second away from where I want to be there. It's about P13, I think. I've made a wild guess. bang on. I will take it. Well, we've got to be aiming for mid to high 1 minute 12s then here. That is going to be the pace of the front runners. So, oh, hello, traction. I know you can push it a lot more on F123, but it will still absolutely spit you out if you overstep it. Let's try and get a good lap. It's the first time I feel like I've nailed the chicane so far. Still locking up slightly on the way in, but getting a much better run, knowing how much speed and confidence I can carry through. Of course, it is still, again, another big refresh on the car, though, so it feels like we've always got a new challenge to learn in that regard as well. But at the final corner, up towards the line, 12.8 puts us in P8. So that is a big improvement once again. We're getting close to the times I need. I cannot afford to risk things, though. Here, late in Q2, we need to be making it into Q3. So again, it probably is going to be a one-shot qualifying session once we make it into that final qualifying. I just want to find another couple of tenths to know we've got the pace to fight for pole. Of course, my only pole so far on F123 came at this venue last season by almost 3 seconds. I don't think that is going to happen today. And that is not what I needed at the end of Q2. Luckily, every other car finishing their runs, so now we got kind of a set and a half of tyres to use in Q3, but we have made it through. Charles Leclerc immediately fastest in his Ferrari onto a 12.4, but yeah, Red Bull have been looking like they could trade times down towards an 11 here, so we need to try and get this first lap, as the banker set up nicely. And then obviously we'll get one big last-ditch attempt on fresh rubber as well. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go easy on this first lap as Verstappen. 12.0. That's exactly what I mean. Could we see Perez get into the 11s? I just cannot get that corner right. I've lifted out so I won't get the lap invalidated. I may as well get the banker still. But yeah, just cannot get that right at the top of the hill anymore. I know it's only down 1 gear, but trying to get it nailed is near impossible. There's 8 tenths away. I think Lando Norris there, as that was the best line I'm ever going to get through the chicane there, right on the white lines on both entry and exit, but 2 more corners to go. Let's just see what I can do. Oh, big lock up on the way in. That's going to cost me rotation, and we'll invalidate it anyway. What's the time going to be? So we head out the final corner, a nightmare lap to finish off my first run. It's a 13.7, and it won't even count. Right, come on then. Sweat mode engaged. One last lap here from Imola. It's a fearsome old school circuit, but I want to try and tame it. I mean, I don't think we'll get close to Verstappen, but I'm going to give it everything she's got to try and get there. We're going to need at least a high 12 again if we want to even be, closing up to those Mercs. Big improvement out of the final corner, but still only going to be a 12.8 there. We just have not had enough, and I got no idea where that's put us.
Qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves once again of our top 3. Verstappen, Perez and Charles Leclerc. Goodbye for now then, but really we're just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Well, there we go, Max Verstappen. How many times have we said this in real life there? Another pole position for the Dutchman. Only a quarter of a second clear, though, of his teammate Sergio Perez there. Charles Leclerc P3, and I mean, only a 10th away from our teammate Alex Albon, but that is the difference between row 2 and row 4 here. Merckx and Carlos Sainz getting between myself and our teammate there. But it's P8 on the grid, though, ready for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. I feel like this is just going to be a race of survival today. We're already on the back foot a little bit with all the track limits. Keep it clean and hope the result can come my way.
Welcome to Imola, the spiritual home of Ferrari. But you don't need me to tell you that. Just look at the red-clad tifosi in the grandstands. They're ready. Are you ready? For the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit, and it's only DRS zone. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Albon, Russell, Hamilton, Sainz, Mr. Monaco, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Magnussen, Bottas, Ocon, Liam Lawson, De Vries, Fittipaldi, Teo Pourchaire, Joe, Sonoda, Stroll and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen? That was a great win in the last race, but can they keep that momentum going into this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Right, well, here we are then, trackside for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And I tell you what, coming into this weekend, we clearly have proven ourselves now as a front-running fighter. But will we be able to cement ourselves as second best behind Red Bull, or have Mercedes and Ferrari got a few more tricks up their sleeve? All will be revealed today here in Imola. P8 on the grid, Hamilton on the softs, but it looks like most of us are on the mediums around him. Could we see a quick start by the Mercedes driver? Right, anyway, let's do this thing then. Waiting on those 5 red lights here for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. A mighty hole, but it is lights out, and away we go. Or not if you're Carlos Sainz. That Albon's going to get caught out as well as Perez. Not really going anywhere on the run down towards turn 1, so we will get 1 and 2 spots then, as Verstappen going to have an easy run in towards that first corner. Don't really want to take any risks with Lewis Hamilton. We get contacted, a bit of a push from behind from Oscar Piastri through the first couple of turns, but we have made it through all clean and tidy. So Piastri again thinking about looking for something at the start, and that is the earliest warning I've ever got on F123. They had the wheel next to the white line, didn't feel like it was over it, but I said we had to be careful. Today we're going to have to be even more careful as we head up the hill though on lap 1. 1 place gain for us. Carlos Sainz looking like he's recovering back to P9 there, but already the AI intensity seems to be very, very high, as Oscar Piastri is really just trying to go for moves absolutely anywhere at the moment. You don't often see overtakes down into Aqua Minerale, but clearly the Aston Martin driver senses an opportunity. He's not on softs, he's on the same compounded tyre as me, so he just wants to be really, really aggressive with it then early on this afternoon. DRS though, going to be very, very important around this venue, so we've got to make sure we stay in the range of Hamilton in front of me, but I feel like a lot of the cars in front actually are on a set of soft compound tyres, as Verstappen though will lead the way at the end of lap 1. Charles Leclerc, Ferrari's darling there in P2, right behind him, and Ferrari get a win on the board here. Well, Verstappen still setting the pace at the front. No, he's not. Verstappen's out! Suddenly, Verstappen is out of the Grand Prix there, as I thought we were getting a safety car, but the Dutchman with his second mechanical failure then of the season. We've got Oscar Piastri trying to look past me, as what is Max doing at the moment? He's got to get out of the way there. He's held up Hamilton awfully through the next couple of corners, and well, Charles Leclerc then straight to the lead of the GP, but Verstappen, yeah, really his old bitter rival Lewis Hamilton there getting the worst of that, if you exclude the Dutchman, of course, I suppose. But Ferrari now into the lead then of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and Hamilton, I was nowhere near the DRS range of the Merc, but I might be given a chance just to hang with him. I do not feel settled early on. We are struggling, and that of course gives Sergio Perez a huge opportunity in the Drivers' Championship. Again, of course, he and Max both had a mechanical failure in the last 2 Grand Prix, but Red Bull 3 times now in a row One of their cars has failed to see the checkered flag. The Dutchman's car has been... No, it hasn't been removed from the venue yet. There we go. Has now just been sent to the Shadow Realm.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
That is not the message we need early on today, as we struggle our way through the final couple of corners. Still just trying to find that rhythm as Sergio Perez back to the lead of the Grand Prix at the front of the field then. So Red Bull... Oh no, big lock up there as we're going to explore the gravel trap. Carlos Sainz, that'll be the easiest move he ever makes in his Formula 1 career. Just cannot get these fronts worked out. Well, I've moved the brake bias then more rearward early on this afternoon. More rearward. Trying to work out how percentages work again inside F123, but yeah, I just do not feel confident early on here. I mean, we need to score some points this race anyway, but Albon is going to have to fly the team flag here, I think for the first or second time this season. He has been quick on a couple of other occasions. While Sainz and I now are definitely starting to see a switch over between the softs and the medium performance. The gap between Carlos and Lewis coming down, but now the gap between myself and Carlos starting to go the right way again. So definitely has been a race. I mean, we're only 8 laps in, and I already feel like the confidence has ebbed and flowed quite massively, but just trying to get there, get in the rhythm. There's still a big battle going on between our front three as Charles Leclerc now relegated to P3 behind George Russell. That was scary. Big slide over the Aqua Minerale exit curb there, and I'll try to keep your foot in, just to actually try and keep the car facing in the right direction, and only lost about a second from it. I think it's probably the most miraculous thing in all of that, but can't be long yet before our soft runners peel into the pit lane. I need to try and go to about the end of 14 if I then want to take the hards to the end, but I don't know if they're 1 or 2 stopping. As just looking on the mini-map, Leclerc completes another move on Russell. Oh, Tsunoda out of the Grand Prix. Looks like the AlphaTauri car, our second Red Bull Powertrains car, out here at Imola. Looks like he just had no power coming off of the hairpin, but Sainz now in a hot pursuit of Lewis Hamilton in front of me. Not long before those soft runners pit, surely, but I'm starting to no.
I'm afraid you'll be given a time penalty for that last incident.
There we go. That's that out the window. No penalties today. That dream's dead. I'm and ahhing though personally whether it could be possible to do soft tyres to the end of the GP. Just, you know, try and mix it up a little bit against the AI. Like I could really do with a safety car. Actually, I don't want a safety car anymore, do I? With this penalty. But yeah, there is Tsunoda's stricken AlphaTauri car. But yeah, I'm just sort of seeing how these tyres are going to last. Because if I can get them to 18, then we can definitely go to the end there. As clearly the AI... I think soft medium is doable. I wasn't even over the white line that time. Come on, EA. That kind of thing. You know, the white line's the white line, but it's got to be the wheels over the white line, not barely on them. Albon into the pit lane though at the end of that lap as I continue to rant and rage at F123. You know, I might have been away for 2 weeks, but I don't forget, you know, what this game can be like there. As up to P5 will go. I reckon get to the end of 18, go softs to the flag. I want to be fast. I want to be racy. I want a chance against Carlos Sainz as his strategy is probably botched. Well, because Ferrari. Leclerc's in then off his set of mediums, so it doesn't look like every AI at the front was on a set of soft tyres. It was just the ones that were much quicker than me. So yep, Leclerc going hards then to the end. Team on me into the end of this one, but that's not going to happen. Like I said, end of 18, we'll be diving in. Perez, yeah, really trying to extend this opening stint then this afternoon. Sainz and Russell will both now peel it in. We're not meant to be getting any rain here today, but sky's starting to look more and more overcast as, yeah, those last few cars then into the pit lane. I think it's only Checo and I then that are yet to box this afternoon. As Charles Leclerc will move back up into P2, into net P2, sorry, actual P3. Perez then, our final AI to finally diving into the box, but Red Bull looking pretty comfortable here still. They might have one car out of this race, but yeah, it looks like they should be able to keep their win streak alive as we are going to take the lead, but we are going to peel it in at the end of this lap. Box pit confirm. Well, I definitely will have lost that a fair old chunk of time to Sainz and Co. Because obviously they've effectively undercut me, but hopefully we're going to be able to make that ball back up in the second half here. Nice and tidy into the pit lane. And at the moment, to be honest, I feel like I'm enjoying the Lance Stroll experience. We've got a good front-running capable car, but I'm a bit slow. So we're kind of quicker than everyone in the midfield, but not as quick as the cars we really should be battling with, as Hamilton, new fast lap of the day. But yeah, onto a set of soft compound tyres we go. We might actually be quite close with Kevin Magnussen here, who... I don't think Magnussen has pit yet, because he's a long, long way ahead of the rest of the midfield runners then, so he's going for a really aggressive strategy. But yeah, Magnussen out ahead of me, so but we're 12 seconds behind Sainz. I need a second a lap between now and the end if I want to get to the Ferrari. We might be in for quite a boring second half to this race, in true Lance Stroll experience. Well, I would like to try and snooker away fast lap bonus point, but Magnussen perhaps just getting in the way of me as we head down in towards the final corners. I think he's actually on a 2-stop then, hence why he's been able to build such a big advantage from the cars behind him. So it would not surprise me if the Dane was going to peel into the pit lane once again, because I haven't seen him at all this race. 14.2, new fast lap of the day, but gaining on Kevin Magnussen of 220 miles an hour. I think the Aston Martin kind of appreciated. Probably wasn't a particularly good battle for him to have. I mean, it was aggressive. It was a Kevin Magnussen style move on Kevin Magnussen, but there was no contact, and we're back up into 7th. Well, Magnussen then apparently did pit on lap 15, so I don't know how he's got the undercut he has on those cars behind him, but clearly has worked out something that no one else could. So yeah, he is going to the end. He's done a fantastic job actually to get that car back to where he has, so maybe our penalty might still compromise me towards the end of this race, but 10 laps to go. To be honest, it would not surprise me if we don't get another on-track battle with another car here. AI in front we are quicker than, but not by a lot. But to be honest, first race back, I don't think that's such a bad thing either. That was close to a second penalty, I think. We've got no more track limits warnings to get away with. Big battle going on, though, between Albon, Hamilton, and Carluccio in front. But let's just, monitor this gap to Kevin behind. 10 laps left here at Imola, and Red Bull looks set to win again. No! Oh, dearie me. Second penalty of the day. Now we've got to build up another 9/10 or a second to Magnussen. Giving myself something to do towards the end, I suppose, but not quite what I had in mind. I tell you what then, as we round the final corner to start the last lap of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Not exactly what I'd call a dramatic second half to this race. You know, I apologise to obviously you guys, the viewers. You know, sadly not every race can be a 6-way title scrap or anything like that. You know, sometimes, just like real Formula 1, you know, it's what makes the good races that much better. You know, compared to some of these ones that have been a bit more mediocre. But, you know, returning to the game as well, like I said, I've definitely been a bit rusty. You know, I think normally I probably would have been in that fight with Albon, Hamilton, and Carlos Sainz come the end of the day. But Sergio Perez then, after his teammate's unfortunate engine failure again, the Mexican will round his way in towards the final corners and looks set to take yet another race victory. The Red Bull dominant spell, though, just like real life 2023, seems to be continuing here inside the game. Perez back on top here at Imola once again, as you see through the final couple of corners. George Russell will make his way through for P2. Charles Leclerc will get a Ferrari podium. Sadly, not quite, I'm sure, what the team were hoping for after his promising start. Albon, I'm pretty certain that is a season best 4th placer, of course, not quite a career best. Imola Bahrain 2020, sorry, Mugello even Bahrain 2020, but out of the final corner, it's P7 for us.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
They take the checkered flag then here in Imola in what has been another outstanding Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team. Let's have a look then at the driver's standings. And thanks to his performance today, Sergio Perez is now our new points leader in the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Well, you can't fault anything that Sergio Perez did out on the track today. He drove flawlessly, making him an easy pick.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Well, there we are then. Perez back on top once again. And the Mexican, yep, it's probably not the way he would have wanted to reclaim the championship lead. But I guess you got to take what you get in the world of F1 there. Russell P2, like we said, ahead of Leclerc and Alex Albon there. Hamilton beats out Sainz. And yeah, we only just got that fastest lap. We did get a bit held up by Magnussen, but we still were able to claim it there. And yeah, my penalties in the end had no real effect on the final results. Magnussen beats out Pierre Gasly and Oscar Piastri then to round out our top 10. And yeah, it was just Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda that failed to see the checkered flag here today. Championship-wise, though, it means there's now just 1 point between myself and Alex Albon there, as we're both still behind both of the Aston Martins. Perez now with a 17-point lead at the top of the table, but 3 points covering Verstappen, Sainz and George Russell there. It's kind of the Dutchman who's been quick but unlucky, and Sainz and Russell who just keep picking up points week in and week out there. Charles Leclerc only a further 8 points back behind them. Hamilton finally starting to get to where we'd expect from him, back into 6th place, they're ahead of both of those Aston Martins. But yeah, I mean, with Lando, Norris, and Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, I've said before, I don't think we could see, Bottas, Zhou Guanyu, the Williams, the Alpha Tauris, the Haskars, or Nick de Vries score points come the end of this year there, unless we get a crazy, crazy GP. Red Bull, 31 clear of Ferrari at the top of the constructors, though. We're closing in on Aston Martin now. I definitely feel like we can beat them, and hopefully we might be able to give Merck and Ferrari a challenge towards the end of the year as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back tomorrow then when we return ready for the duel in the Formula 1 crown. We're back for the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to it. Getting back into F1 23, that's been really, really good fun.